Hello, I'm Kia and welcome to the 10th video of my YouTube channel. And since it's the 10th time I'm making a video, I wanted to make it something special. But in the best traditions of my YouTube channel, it's gonna be the least amount of it, like editing, and I will just try to take it in one cut. So tonight it's already 1:45 in Japan time, and it's like nighttime. It's very late, but I wanted to make this video because it's a special night. It's my last night in Sendai. Sendai is a city in Tohoku region of Japan where I spent almost 6 years of my life. And tomorrow morning, like just in a few hours, I'm leaving with. I'm going to move to another prefecture to move in with my husband, and I'm going to continue my PhD online, and I'll be coming back to Sendai every month. But for now, I'm actually leaving the city, and I'm already giving away the apartment and everything. I sent all my stuff, it's already arrived, and I'm about to start the new chapter of my life and start my own family. So it's pretty exciting and it's a little bit sad, but I just keep thinking that I'll be coming back every month, so I'll keep meeting my friends, and it's just life, right? So today I'm gonna take a walk on a memory lane. Like, do you say on a memory lane or at a memory lane? Okay, I'm gonna take a walk on the memory lane, and I'm just gonna talk about the organizations I was a part of when I was in Sendai, and like talk a little bit more about the events I took part in and how fun it was, or why, or if it wasn't fun and why. And I'm just gonna acknowledge my 6 years in Sendai. I'm gonna do that through the t-shirts I gained while I was working as a volunteer in a few organizations, and I have quite a few. So please bear with me. Like, I'm gonna speak about each one of them and tell you a little bit about what you can do if you come to Sendai as an exchange student or international student, and where else you can apply your energy except for studies. So when I came to Sendai back in April 9, 2015, I already knew about this organization called Centia. I'm sorry, it's gonna be reversed for you, but it's called Centia. It's Sendai Tourism Convention and International Association. It used to be called Saira. Maybe you know it by that name, but in Japanese it's called Sendai Kokusai Koryu Kyokai. And that is a city organization which holds a lot of events for foreigners living in Miyagi Prefecture in Sendai City, and it also hires international students to become their international student member, Ryugakusei Koryuin. So, why you should apply for this if you just came to Sendai and you speak English and Japanese? Because first of all, Centia is super fun. They organize events like recycled bicycle sale, like emergency training. They organize trips to onsen where you need to give your evaluation as a tourist. They do also summer camps for children who have foreign parents living in Japan, and they help them with their school stuff, and many more. So basically, you need to pass audition. Not audition, it's more like you have to pass the essay and documentation competition, and after that there is an interview. It's like a group interview of maybe 5 people at once. I remember when I came to that interview, I was the only one not wearing a black suit, and I felt extremely uncomfortable, but it all worked out, so I passed the interview part as well, and I was welcomed as Ryugakusei Koryuin of Centia. I worked there for 2 years. 2 years is maximum amount of time you can work there, and it's considered a volunteering job, volunteering work, but it's actually also paid, which is more like a thank you money as I understand it. So it's not that much, but it's quite a lot at the end when you count it all in a bulk, and considering how much you want to spare your free time, it can be a lot. For example, in my 2 years, they would pay 20,000 yen per month, and they would pay it all together in one semester. So with that money, I got to go to US to visit my host family after 10 years I left them. And I also managed to buy a MacBook Air, which I've been using for all my master's and PhD. I've been able to go some other places like back home to Russia, and it was amazing. And the best part was that it didn't feel like a job. It felt like some fun activities you would join and enjoy yourself. And the only mandatory thing was to meet once a month on Saturday afternoon. So we all would just gather once a month and have a meeting, and we would get like an agenda, like a list of events upcoming, and you could choose anyone you want, and you didn't have to participate if you had no time. Because the closer it got to the end, like the closer I got to my finishing my master's, so I got pretty busy, but I would still do some stuff. And in some months you don't even have to come out and do anything if you're busy, so it's all completely voluntarily. And I loved it. I think my favorite events would be Recycled Bicycle Sale, because it's the first event I joined in Sendai, and also, although I didn't get a bicycle back then, but I got it later on. For that event, you just needed to be a foreigner in Japan, having a residence card, and you would just come, and you could apply to get a bicycle for 5,000 yen, which is like amazing price. Of course, it was a used bicycle, but it's pretty well cleaned up and fixed and good as new. And also back then, because it was 2015, 2016, where many people would turn up there, like maybe 50 people for 25 bicycles, so you had to do lucky draw. And those who won the lucky draw, they could get the bicycle. And it was all official. You could get documents to be an owner of that bicycle, you would get an insurance, and you would get your keys and everything. It was perfect. So I just liked that event so much because I could go there and help out the people who couldn't speak Japanese that well. And also, I don't know, I just in general enjoy Centia events a lot. My other favorite event was Sendai International Center Koryu Kona events, like international corner events, because I got to speak about my own country, about my own republic, because many people in the world don't know about Republic of Sakha-Yakutia, and I was so happy to share my culture. I was also able to organize with my friend from International Corner ghostly storytelling event, basically, where we would take a story about Japanese monsters, and I would read it in English, she would read it in Japanese, and I would make a little presentation. Then I also like to read fairy tales to Japanese kids. We would pick this Russian fairy tale and then rehearse with a Japanese volunteer to also read line by line in Russian and in Japanese. In my year, it was Repka. Repka is like a Okina Kabu. It's a story which is a Russian origin, but really fits Japanese characters. So Japanese people even think that it's their own fairy tale, but it's not. So basically, Centia had such fun events, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. And this t-shirt I really want to keep, but I don't have a space, so I don't know, I'm still gonna think of it a little. So Centia also had some kind of serious events, you would call. One of those events was this United Nations, the Refugee Film Festival. I participated as a volunteer, and it was quite interesting and really made you think, I guess. But this kind of events weren't rare. You basically, if you become their member, you can pick events you like and participate in them, and you don't have to do it if you don't like it. It was so funny when I was just a newcomer to Sendai City, and I went to Centia emergency training, and there was a team of paramedics who came and gave us a little lecture what to do in case of emergency. And I liked them so much. And then I have been carried by emergency car quite a few times in Japan, unfortunately. And the first time I remember in Sendai, I was feeling so sick, but when I hear the voice and I'm like, I know you. And then I realized it was the exactly same paramedic who came to Centia event, and I immediately felt better because it felt like it's someone I know. It's just funny story. Also, Centia used to organize this festival every year. It's called Sendai World Festa, or Sendai Chikyu Festa in Japanese. It's basically not an outdoor but indoor festival with a lot of food stalls, with a lot of stage performances, with a lot of booths where you can buy different international items, merchandise. And I love to participate in there. And I think this t-shirt is from the time when I was the vice president of International Students Organizing Committee of this festival. and it was like one of my last Centia events. I don't know, you guys, just if you come to Sendai as an international student, please try joining Centia. You have to be able to speak like simple Japanese, at least to be able to have a dialogue. But some of my friends who wouldn't be very confident about their Japanese skills still got in. So just try. They usually have a call for applicants on January every year. You will have so much fun, you will learn the Japanese way of working and organizing events, and you will meet the best Japanese people. They're most kind and sincere and just supporting. So you'll pick connections for life. I actually got a lot of connections from Centia, from my translation jobs to my dentist. So you never know where it's gonna get handy, but Centia is amazing. I would strongly recommend you to join. Moving on next. Next I want to talk about I'm gonna talk about TEDx Tohoku University. TEDx Tohoku University is a relatively new organization. I heard there used to be TEDx Tohoku, but it kind of discontinued. I came long after that, so I joined TEDx Tohoku University in 2018, I think. Like my friend Chanon, he started TEDx Tohoku University in 2017. He really wanted me to join, but I was super busy with Centia and with my master entrance exam and all, so I couldn't. But I still wanted to support the community, so I went there. I purchased a ticket and I went to TEDx Tohoku University first event in 2017. And there was this girl, I think she was from Mongolia, who couldn't speak Japanese at the time. And the speakers spoke both English and Japanese, mostly Japanese, I think. And I remember just sitting in that event, and it was really well organized and super interesting. It was my first TEDx event. So I was sitting there in a crowd, just listening to speakers, and basically half of the time I was whispering translations to this girl of what speaker is saying, so at least she would get an idea. And that's when I got an idea that TEDx Tohoku University really needs an international, simultaneous interpretation team. So people who come on the day, they would get in the translations at least from Japanese to English and vice versa. So when I joined in 2018, I proposed to open a translation team, translation/simultaneous interpretation. What does it mean? It means that we were supposed to work with speakers and work with their drafts of their speeches, and then prepare translation of those speeches beforehand, and also prepare and train for providing a simultaneous interpretation on a day. It was a very ambitious project because all of us were just students of different majors. For most of us, Japanese wasn't a native language, and for some of our Japanese members, English was a bit tough, but we still did it. Thanks to this app called Interaction, we didn't need a special equipment. Everybody who came on a day could just use their smartphones. And we actually provided simultaneous interpretation. That's crazy. Of course, none of the speakers stuck to their drafts. So it was sometimes kind of hard to improvise on the spot. But the hardest thing for me personally was providing subtitles afterwards. Because as we are being not just simultaneous interpretation but translation team, after the event, TEDx usually uploads their videos on YouTube. And YouTube, you kind of want to provide subtitles for everyone to understand and spread the message of each speech. But the Japanese translation community of TEDx is extremely tiny, and they have a lot of speeches queued for reviewers to check and give their give their review, get it, and say that it's okay to publish. So I took over one of the speeches from 2017 when I wasn't present, and in order to translate it, you have to transcribe it first. Transcribe from original language, right? And you had to use this app called Amara. Lately they switched to Caption Hub, which I haven't checked out yet. But from Amara, it wasn't very useful, and wasn't very convenient for me at least. It took enormous amount of time to transcribe the thing and then to enter it one by one and then to synchronize it with the speech itself on a day. But the worst part was that after it has been done, you would wait for a review, and it's been 3 years and the review is still not there. So there are more than 100 speeches to be reviewed apparently in the queue. So over 3 years, this tiny community of TEDx translators couldn't review the speech I'm talking about. And it's still there, it's still hanging, and it's hanging like this unfinished business and bothering me a lot. Another one is from the 2018 speech, which I loved because I loved the speaker, I loved the speech. We worked together, and of course she improvised on a day, but it was amazing. So I am still working on it. I finished my English transcribing and I think it's not checked yet. I have to get back to that because I really want to finish this. And most of my team members, they worked really hard. I mean, most of my team members actually managed to enter the captions, but they didn't get it checked. Only some of them got lucky and got the reviews so they could proceed to the translation part. But we just thought that it's too much work. Basically, translation team who has to provide subtitles would have to work like for years after the event, and I didn't see meaning in it afterwards. Like, it's just too much. Simultaneous interpretation is already hard enough, but then having been like bound for years for this, depending on this review process, that was just overwhelming for me as an experience. So I hated making subtitles and I loved interpreting on a day. But our the second event was called Blueprints of Tohoku. And I love this t-shirt, it's kind of nice. I don't know if I should keep it. Then I never wear it, and this t-shirt's been here for years, and since I'm moving I should have a fresh start, so I decided to get rid of mostly all of them, but just to keep this as a memory, this little video. So I quit the TEDx translation team after a while, but I came the next year to like support my friends who were like still working. And one of my team members became a translation team leader after me, so she asked me for help, and I came on a day, so I have another t-shirt from the Tohoku University. This was really nice, I liked it. I think this one is from our live streaming when we had our translation camp and we translated stuff overnight till like 10 a.m. because we only received like speeches and we gained the access to that live streaming like 24 hours before. So all night long my translation team has been just working and translating all of this so we could provide at least captions on a day, and it happened. So I was the host of that event, if I remember correct. And at the next year there was this event which I just attended like on a day to help out as a translation volunteer. It's actually a really nice quality. I like how soft it is. I forgot the topic because I wasn't in an organization team. Oh, connecting and sharing. So on that day, I came to deal with the most troublesome speaker. It wasn't a good experience, but I felt like I have to take that on myself as the oldest team member. So my iPhone got overheated and I couldn't do it in one cut. Oh well. So I just wanted to add that it feels like every year the Tohoku University events were getting bigger and better and more fabulous. And then pandemic hit, and I think we had one online which was still quite successful, what I heard. I'm not sure because I didn't attend. And I just hope that the Tohoku University events will keep going, keep happening, and that the team will be successful and survive through pandemic. And moving on to the next and the brightest experience I ever had, and I don't know, one of the most important things happened to me in Japan was TUFSA. What is TUFSA? Let's put here. TUFSA is Tohoku University Foreign Students Association. Tohoku Daigaku Ryukakusei Kyokai. And I knew about TUFSA, about its existence, like before I came to Sendai, because I don't know, when I applied for max scholarship, you had to choose like 5 different universities, and then you would send, I got like I think invitations from 5 universities, and when I picked 3 and I sent to Max, and Max picked me one, and I found out it was Tohoku University, and I was really happy because it was close to Yamagata University where I used to study. So I was still coming back to Tohoku region, and I started like looking around internet asking what TUFSA is, you know. And my friend Sasha was already here, and he just said like, oh yeah, we have this festival, you should totally bring your like traditional outfits, you should apply as a volunteer. And I did. So I applied for festival volunteering thing and for becoming getting a TUFSA buddy, participating in the buddy program before I came to Sendai in 2015. So it's basically the biggest student organization in Tohoku region, making the biggest international event in the whole Tohoku region. And this organization is like more than 55 years old now. It's ancient and it's association. So unlike many Gakuyukai clubs in Tohoku University, this is not like a university club. It's basically a separate association with its own budget, with its own like constitution, with its own everything. And we are connected to our university, we're very loyal to it, but at the same time we're kind of autonomous. So I was thinking of joining TUFSA, but then I just came out of being a student head in my university back in Yakutsk, and I struggled a lot because it was a lot of work. So I came to Japan thinking, never again will I work in a student organization, never again will I dedicate my time to it. I'm just gonna study and party. And I did for half a year. But then I started joining TUFSA events like right away, because it was interesting. I joined like their parties, I joined their volunteering trip to Minami Sanriku, I joined their watercolor festival, like all kinds of stuff, their international barbecue, and it was fun. And then I started like helping them out, like staying longer to clean after the events, made friends with TUFSA people, started dating a TUFSA president at the time. And yeah, that was another thing. My boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband, he was the president of TUFSA, and I patiently waited for like almost a year until he retires, because I didn't want to be known as TUFSA president's girlfriend, because I was way too ambitious. And as I was saying before, now like I just knew that someday I might want to run for president, and I don't want to have this reputation of a president's girlfriend, you know. So I waited until he retires, and TUFSA presidency only lasts 1 year, but it's enough, wait, believe me. So, and then I joined after he retired and there was new president. And this is actually his old t-shirt from maybe 2014 or something. It just says like, keep calm and wait for the next TUFSA event. You know, it used to be this kind of keep calm things going on. And after that, I also got my own t-shirt, which is just black and cool, and but exactly same. TUFSA was just this very unique organization. Our aim was to support international students who come to Japan, to let them connect with Japanese students here, and to make these connections, and also to become a bridge between international students community and the local community of Tohoku area. So they would organize so many events, and we had so many programs going on, like TUFSA Buddy program. It's a program when before coming to Japan, international students could apply for it, and we would match them by their interest with Japanese students who applied to participate. And then when you just first come to Japan, you would already have a friend waiting for you. So it was awesome. Also, later on, one of the presidents before me, he started this Date Cafe. Date Masamune is the founder of Sendai, just like a little remark. So Date Cafe was something where international students also, before coming to TUFSA, they could have a video call with like students who already study here and ask them questions about Sendai, about Tohoku University, about being like a student here and everything. Sorry, I just making sure that my phone doesn't sleep again. And also, one of the most useful events was Explore Sendai Tour. I think it's already started happening later on. It's basically when new people came to Sendai, we would take them for a tour around the most like used student areas, like from Kawauchi campus, we would go to downtown, we would show where the cheapest places to shop for groceries, where you could just go like for events and all of that. It was super useful in my opinion. Also, TUFSA was known for its parties. The parties of TUFSA were the most craziest ones, the most fun ones, and the most amount of alcohol. Because we used to have this all-you-can-drink policy where you would just pay 1,500 yen and drink all you can drink of alcohol in our bar. And unlike other organizations, when alcohol would be like gone, we would go and buy more because people paid, right? Whilst other student organizations would just say, sorry guys, I know, like, we know you paid, but we are run out of it. So we kind of like were leaders in that area. Also, we were very strict about serving alcohol drinks only to like adults, like who past 20 years old, you know, because in Japan I think it's 20 years old when you're supposed to, you cannot drink alcohol till you turn 20, basically, till you become an officially mature person. And we would have different colored bands, and I didn't like, the green one was for those who could drink, it's okay, green light, and pink ones were for soft drinks only. So we would all gather in the venue would be Tohoku University Sanjo 1 in dorm, and we would gather there like a few hours before party, set everything up, and then set the bar. We would have shifts for bartending, for DJs, everyone would stay to help clean afterwards. It was just awesome. Of course there were problems with people getting too drunk, but everything, I don't know, everything went fine until one of the other organizations later in the years, like, they got someone completely intoxicated and we had to call an emergency. And after that, university became really strict, so we weren't able to like serve all you can drink anymore. So we came up with this policy of 10 drinks for the same amount of money, and mostly nobody would go that far because our drinks were kind of strong. Yeah, so TUFSA was known for its parties, but we actually did a lot of other things as well. Like and some things unfortunately didn't happen. For example, one of our members tried to organize this volunteering trip to animal shelter in Fukushima when we found out it shut down, for example. Then we had dancing events, like we had somebody organized TUFSA bazaar when people would come before leaving Japan and sell their stuff for cheap price for those who just came. Then there would be like trips to different places. This volunteering trip was the best, I joined. Also, like, we had thematic parties like Russian New Year, or like Hispanic Day of the Dead, or Indian Holy Festival, like with watercolor festival was the most fun summer event. And I don't know, TUFSA was just so unique, so awesome, and it was the best experience I've ever had in my life, I guess, in student life. So of course, like, since it's a lot of people working together, there might be like a lot of like tension sometimes, and I personally got in fights with people, of course, and which is kind of regretful. But like when you think you're right, you don't wanna just like say you're not. And with some people I still don't speak because they really hurt my feelings, that I felt like I was stabbed in the back. So all kinds of things happen, but mostly really nice. And now I have friends all over the world thanks to TUFSA, and I have like really good memories about my time in Sendai also thanks to TUFSA. And I even married someone from TUFSA. And TUFSA had a lot of matchmaking, and I was thinking to do an event like that or a video like that, but it would be maybe too much invasion of privacy. And what TUFSA also did, which was like one of the first events I joined as a member, I think, we participated in the opening of the Sendai subway Tozai line in 2015. West meets East, and we received this like t-shirts, commemorative t-shirts. So in that opening of International Center Station, as I believe, or Kawaguchi Station, International Center Station, I think, we danced. It was the first time when I got to wear sari, and like basically there was this first train coming with like volunteers to check out the new line, and every station we just come in and dance and then come out. It was super duper fun, and I loved that experience. Another t-shirt I have, which I wore today because I had all my things in laundry and it's a bit dirty now and super wet because I got under rain, is Electric Round Sendai. I went there with my TUFSA friends in 2016. It was a huge event in Sendai when all kinds of like nightclubs participated in it, and you would get tickets and you would go for around the town for all the nightclubs and enjoy the atmosphere of dancing and music. And we received these tickets for free because we kept doing it like as international students. But I remember that day I overslept in lab because I was preparing for yeah, my entrance exam already. So I woke up on the desk at 1 a.m. and I just went and joined a little bit. So it was fun. TUFSA used to have a lot of activities going on, and one of the biggest one was, of course, International Festival. So, you know, like, I think TUFSA started having this festival 20 years after it was established. So it was a 20-year difference. I think first one I participated ever was the 30th festival, but I already threw away the t-shirt before. And this is a volunteering t-shirt from 31st festival. And every year we had a new theme. This year was Smiles of the World. And basically the festival, we call it TUIF, Tohoku University International Festival. Tohoku Daigaku Kokusai Matsuri. It's the biggest international event in the whole Tohoku region. I think max we had like 5,000 people participating in it as volunteers, as customers. I don't say customers, as guests and as organizers. So in that, the richest year, we had like 33 food stalls, I think, from all kinds of different cultures and countries. We had international, like interactive corner booths, like with a lot of like games and all. And we had also stage performances. This was just an amazing experience. Every year we had more than 100 volunteers joining, and there would be like from high schoolers to someone in their 80s, and all of that would be powered by students who dedicate their free time to make this happen. And preparation would usually start like half a year before. So original festival was, I think, held in October, but then we switched to May format and switched venues from Sanjo area to Hagi Hall area in Kawauchi campus. So yeah, usually if it's in May, we would have start preparations like late December, early January. So we would have a TUIF committee, and TUIF committee was of course mostly consisting from TUFSA members, which is like around 40 people, and we'd have some other people participating in it and becoming a TUIF committee member, even if we are out of Tohoku University and like we weren't never in TUFSA. So that festival was so huge that it required all your time and all your attention, and it was quite tense at times because you wouldn't sleep. You would have meetings till like 6 a.m. Every Sunday you would be there working, and basically it was a huge amount of work for free. Nobody got paid, and I'm just still amazed how many people dedicated their free time, how many people like shared their energy and passion and made this beautiful event happen every single year. I'm just like so humbled and amazed like by all those like amazing committee members, volunteers, all the participants, the food stall participants. Oh my god, they had to cook like for so long, and it was just like such a hard job, like which nobody got money for, you know. It still blows my mind how so many people can come together and create something so unique and beautiful. So just like thank you guys. And that year, it was like 2016, I think, we had this, yeah, I don't like orange color, but this orange color t-shirts for organizers and white color for volunteers. And then next year on 32nd festival, I think the theme was something like I am because you are, and this is also a volunteer one. So that was the first year when we got our mascot happening. And the blue ones were for volunteers and black ones were for organizers. I was a vice president at the time, and it was a lot of work, and unfortunately that year it rained, so we lost a lot of money because people didn't show up, but it was still fun. And 33rd festival in 2019, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, 2018 was my year when I was a TUFSA president, and when I became a TUF president as well, and our mascot became like full-time mascot, and the topic was chosen, be happy, be yourself. I loved it. This was a volunteer t-shirt, and the organizer's t-shirt was this black one. And you can see like here the design team made this amazing design. Like they show this one person igniting the others because he's not scared to be himself, you know, or she. And this was the main topic, just be unique, don't be scared to be different. Like, just enjoy yourself and your life and help others. I don't know, this is how I got the topic. And that year, I'm hopeful, like fortunately it didn't rain, but it got extremely hot. It was like 35 degrees, I think. We were just sweating like pigs and kept drinking water. And now I don't know what is worse, a lot of rain or very strong heat. But it still was very successful. We had a lot of food stalls, a lot of stage performances. It went so smoothly because of my organizing committee, who dedicated so much time. And when I was a TUFSA president, I was like a hardcore one, because usually we would have like maybe 20 events around the year or less. And in my year, I don't know why, we had like 40, even more than 40. So basically every week we had events. And of course you have to recharge. So it led to a lot of like tension, I feel, and a lot of disappointment in each other also. And I got really disappointed in people I trusted and who proved that they didn't deserve to be trusted that much. And I just like, I don't know, I learned a lot from that year, and mostly not to doubt myself, and just not to let anyone like tell you like opposite. You are awesome, you're working for making it happen, and and everyone got happy. And those who didn't, well, I wish they had courage to talk to me personally. And that was really fruitful year for TUFSA, but I felt like everyone got tired also. So I guess for next future generations, I would just say, let people rest, let your team members rest, like let them just enjoy, because TUFSA is all about enjoyment. Nobody's getting paid in that job, and it requires enormous amount of time and energy, and everyone is just providing it voluntarily. So don't force them. That's like, in my case, I think the mistake was that I was demanding people to put as much effort as I was putting myself, and I was putting way too much effort, in a sense that it even led to some health problems, which I'm still dealing with, some mental problems, because I felt extremely lonely. And nobody should feel like that. And if you're doing a volunteer work, you should just be able to enjoy it, to be grateful, and to have some awesome feedback. And I just hope it happens that way from now on. And this was our last festival that happened, 2019. It was 34th festival, and it went extremely like successfully, and I just loved it. And unfortunately, like, our 35th festival got suspended because of pandemic, and it still hasn't happened. And unfortunately, TUFSA events also like kind of like stopped happening, because I guess mostly because of pandemic, and also because because of pandemic nobody recruited anyone, and there's no new generation coming up. But I really hope that TUFSA will not stop, and that they will revive again, and because it will be so sad to lose TUFSA after 55 years and more of like such awesome work. But just let's stay hopeful, let's stay optimistic, and let's hope that everything happens again, because everything happens for a reason. So this was all for my t-shirts. Of course, there were many more events. For example, I wanted to give an example and I forgot. There were many more volunteering events which I took part of in, and I enjoyed most of them, I think. But it's been 6 years and I barely remember stuff, and I remember this stuff because it's like I have a lot of pictures, I have a lot of videos, I have a lot of friends made, and I'm just so grateful for this experience, and I'm grateful for everyone I met, everyone who became my friend, and I'm just like really hoping that I meet you guys again, and that I'm also hoping that new students who come here, they will have at least a piece of a similar experience, because it's so sad that there is no one there now taking care of them, you know, and providing less leisure activities, and which could release some stress from being a foreigner in Japan and from studying in Japanese university, because it's actually tough. It's tough to come here alone. It's tough to be outsider, like from this community you never knew, especially if you don't speak the language. And I just hope that this kind of opportunities for international students will be provided in the future. And I hope that everyone who comes to Sendai just like embraces this beautiful city, because it's a really nice city. It's so easy to live in it. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's the biggest in the Tohoku region, but it's still possible to go anywhere by bicycle. And it's so green. Because it's so green, it actually causes you having like a high hay fever, kafunsho, so be careful about that. But the rest of it is just like enjoy. Please enjoy your studying in Japan. I know that slowly Japan is allowing international students to enter, and I just hope that you enjoy your stay here, that you reach out for help if you feel lonely, and that you have your studies like here successfully. So just, I don't know, be brave and enjoy the city, and enjoy studying in the best university of Japan, because Tohoku University became the best one, number one 2 times in a row. Yeah, I guess that's all that I wanted to say. Another thing, the only one thing that I want to add is that I was also a part of this Japan Miyagi Eurasia Association, which is a group of people who really enjoy Soviet Union and Russian culture, and they're all Japanese and kind of like senior people, but they're super duper nice, and I had a lot of their support. I came to many of their events, and I just hope that everyone stays healthy and that you keep enjoying life. And thank you so much, Sendai. Thank you so much for the best years of my life. Thank you so much for the friends I have all over the world now. Thank you so much for letting me letting me find them like the most special person in my life and getting married to him. And tomorrow I am leaving Sendai with a promise to come back every month at least to the end of March until my scholarship is gone. And I will always keep Sendai in my heart, and my friends whom I met here, all the special friendships I made, they will always be extremely important to me. Thank you. Bye.